You guys have chairs. It's more intimidating. No injuries right now. I'm sure there'll be some tomorrow, but there's nothing right now. Go ahead.
What impressed you the most?
I mean, just how we overcame a bunch of stuff. I didn't think we played perfect ball by any means. I thought, which you never do, but I was just happy that the mistakes that we did make, we always overcame. I was real disappointed, getting those first two turnovers and not scoring on either of them, having a punt. Then when we get the third turnover, we actually score ourselves on defense, but we have to call it back. And that was strategic, so we could let the offense do it. So finally we were able to do one. And then being able to get that fourth one was cool. And, let's play complementary football. Took us a while, a little bit back and forth, but once I thought we were playing both well on both sides, that's when the score became what it did.
Would that penalty have not been strategic if you were on the sidelines for it?
What's that?
Would that penalty have not been strategic if you hadn't been one of the ones on the field for it? Or?
Was I one? Yeah. No, I would have been mad at whoever did it. No, I was mad at myself, and I thought the play was over. We couldn't see, and everyone jumped up. And so when that happens, you're getting out there to start to congratulate people coming back, and they're not coming back to congratulate us. They're running back at us. So everyone got it. We know the rule, definitely. We know you can't go on the field. I personally thought the play was over. They ran right by us, and it was very unfortunate because it's a good learning experience for our team. We do show that stuff, but it was short-lived because we ended up scoring. So we can live with it, but good learning example for us.
I'm not sure if you went back to it, but that first play was a five-man front on defense. Was that something that you had charted out over the bye to kind of set a tone?
No, I think we've mixed that in a little bit throughout the year at times. I think we did it versus Pittsburgh, I want to say, on one of the first couple plays, and I know we did it versus Minnesota, I believe, on Mooney's pick there in the first quarter, I think. So it's something we mix in, and but no, I thought their plan was real good today, and it seemed effective.
What did you think of Nick Bosa today?
I thought he was great. I think Nick's been playing well all year, but for him to get the sack and stuff, cause a turnover, I know how much he loves playing in Florida too. So it was cool to have a big game from him today. Thought all of them played big.
Steve Wilkes on the field and
Sorry, what's that?
What was it like having Steve Wilkes on the field, and how do you think it helped things?
I ran into him a couple more times. I hear his voice wherever he is. I enjoy him down there. We'll ask the players how they thought. I'm excited to talk to Steve on the plane, see what he felt. But again, that's nothing against you guys or anything, but just I've been coaching a long time, and I think that's one of the most overrated things in the world. So, but I enjoyed him down there today.
What was the thought process on trying to get McCaffrey a touchdown there at the end?
18 games in a row is a big record. So, if we had a chance to do that, I was going to try to do it for him. And it's a little nerve-wracking. Last thing I want to do is get him hurt. But once it was big time for Elijah to run the ball like that to get us down there. Brock and I think Ronnie made a huge third down throw, I believe, that gave us a chance. And once we got close, we told him to stay loose because we were going to try. And got close, wish we could have done it for him, but I think that was a pretty big accomplishment just to do it for 17 games straight.
Did you have to explain that to Doug at all?
Yeah, he was awesome. He said he knew. Right when I saw him, I was like, hey, I hope you know why we're trying to do that. And he was very well aware. He said they were talking about it, so hopefully it didn't offend him too much.
I'm sure some people in here may have freaked out if McCaffrey got hurt on one of those plays. You were obviously ready to assume the risk and take the heat if that happened.
Yeah, I try to make decisions not based off of having to talk to you after the game. I try to make it on what I think is right for a team. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. But I'm not going to think about you until after the game, so then I can just deal with it.
Has Embry made strides in practice recently that give you the confidence to make that move today?
Yeah, Embry's been I think Embry's made a lot of strides going back to even training camp and stuff, but it was nothing against anyone in particular. I just wanted to see Demo in the nickel a little bit, and Demo's got kind of a knack for that, and it'll be fun to go watch him on the plane and stuff, see how he did. But for us to make that choice, Embry was the next man up outside.
What were your initial impressions of Chase Young's impact?
From what I saw there, it seemed like he had a big impact. I know watching him and Nick there on that same play, I'll see when I watch the tape, but just having him out there and allowing our rotation to go, and from what it looked like to me, I thought we rushed collectively the best that I had seen. I'll tell you guys tomorrow after I watched it on the plane, but just watching it live on the sidelines, it seemed collectively our group had their best game yet, and that's the goal.
The sequence at the end of the first half, beginning of the second half, I know that you always strive to do that, but could you kind of feel like, could you breathe a little bit easier after that, basically a 10-point possession?
Yeah, that was our first time this year that I felt like we did it right. That we scored on the last play of the second quarter, and we started out with it in the third quarter. So, and then we got that touchdown. So that's what we try to do every week. We were successful this week. It was very nerve-wracking watching them ice our kicker than the TV network ice our kicker. I didn't know what was going on, but that third kick was a little tight too. But it worked, so glad.
Kyle, on Purdy's first touchdown pass, was that like a no, yes?
Yeah, that was honestly one of, I can say this because he played well, but that was like one of his worst decisions I think he's made since he's been here. And it took me a while to get over it, but I thanked him for the touchdown. But that was not a good decision, and he was fortunate with it, but he made a lot of really good plays. And if you are going to make a bad decision and it's still a touchdown, in the grand scheme of things, he can tell me it was a real good decision, but I know we can't. He knows that. He knows what he did wrong, but Ayuk made him right.
Spinning it, I guess, positive, which I always want to do.
Of course.
Is the fact that he too many picks, too many bad mistakes by Brock. The fact that that was the first drive, and yeah, he didn't love it, but he obviously still wasn't scared and was still slinging it. Maybe not great, but I mean, does that tell you something that he still wasn't playing scared despite the adversity?
I mean, I think he's been playing the same way all this time, and you don't feel it from him at all. That's why I kind of been. I know he's had some turnovers here and there on our losses, but you ask anyone who's watched all those games and stuff, he was one of the best players on the field in those games, and you're always responsible for those turnovers. But Brock, there's none where you're sitting there saying he's taken too many bad decisions. That was one, definitely. It's going to happen with guys, but I love having a guy who isn't thinking about that. He's trying to make the right decisions, letting it rip, and he'll live with the consequences and try to get better when it's not.
Kyle, without minimizing the other two phases of the game, you guys just held Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence off a bye without scoring. Is it as simple? First, is this what you envision your defense to look like? And second, is it as simple as you guys just winning on early downs inside of the run?
I think it's just playing one game at a time and not getting caught up in anything. They had a bunch of big plays. It seemed like it. I mean, they got they got it going with their screens a number of times. We had some big penalties that hurt us. They had some explosive plays that got down there. Every time it seemed like they got going, our guys just never stopped. And you don't get points till you cross the goal line or you kick it through the uprights. And our guys made so many plays when they were getting down there. They just were relentless today and kept going for that ball. And eventually, everything took care of itself.
How close was the decision on Trent, and how do you think he kind of?
It was real close. I mean, he was adamant that he was going to play, and he was able to do enough to, I'd say, whatever the percentage is, 80 or whatever. But it is tough because last thing I want him to do is go out there and re-injure it or make it worse so he can't play next week. So it was we talked about it a lot, all the coaches and him. We're going to keep a hard eye on him as it went, but I thought he performed well under the circumstances, and the biggest thing was just talking to him there on the sideline. He didn't zing it, got out healthy, and no setbacks, so I don't have to answer Eric's questions.
What did you see on the touchdown on George? It looked like Brock was working with zero room to us and with a line in front of them.
Yeah, I mean, it was the look we were hoping for. It just takes a while. And BA's running the in route and George is running the out route, and it takes a little bit of time to get down the sidelines with the leverage that I believe 33 had on him. And Brock just tried to wait for it and waited as long as he could. I was so pumped he got it off, but he had to throw with some anticipation, and didn't know if George was going to be able to get to it because he had to bow around a little rub of man coverage, but beautiful touch on the ball. George has the skill set to explode through it, and that was a huge second play of the half for us.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, guys.
How would you assess your performance today?
Really good team win. Just complimentary ball all around. And a good kind of reset for us to keep going.
Could you kind of feel that Chase brings a little bit more juice just because of the numbers that it creates for your D-line?
Yeah, I mean, having him is such a big threat. I think we play off of each other well, and me and him are really excited to keep going.
You guys combined on that sack early in the second quarter, Nick. At that point, did you guys feel that you had that game under control by then?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was only a touchdown lead at the time, so definitely didn't let up at all. our back end did an unreal job mixing things up and kind of confusing Trevor. And I think we got more ops than we've had all year by far.
Beyond just the opportunities, did you feel like just the coverage being tied to the pass rush was at a better level than it had been for most of the season?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes matchups are work certain ways. Like, not a lot of teams have done what we just did to them. So we just have to keep improving, keep taking it one game at a time. Because I mean, we've played really well as a D line in certain games throughout this year, and not so good in other games. But when you have these opportunities, you got to make the most of them.
Kyle said you especially like coming and playing in Florida. Was that? Did you feel that? Did you feel extra?
I did. Right when I stepped off the plane, I felt the humidity, and it was just so good.
You guys good? All right, Eric's right here.
Thanks, Nick. Rick, did you have any conversations with Steve Wilkes on the sideline during this game?
A little bit. I felt his energy. He's, came up to us, congratulated us on some plays, and, that voice of telling us to keep going and, don't let up. And so, yeah, I definitely felt him on the sideline.
How did you feel that Nick has played well, but he hasn't been filling up the stat sheet? Did you feel something different from him today?
Nothing different. Nick's just been doing what he has been doing. We finally had a quarterback who held on to the ball for a little bit, and we were able to show up in the stat sheet today. But Nick's been playing great all year. Whatever the criticism, that comes with getting a big contract, but Nick has been dominant in the pass and run game. He has been all year, and, it showed up in the stat sheet today, but he's been doing that all year.
Lawrence has been one of the quickest this year at getting the ball out. You mentioned he's holding it a little bit today. What was working that he was able to make that?
Really tying the front and the coverage. The guys on the back end were, we were disguising things. We were, mixing it up, and that allowed us, guys being sticky in coverage allowed us that extra hitch, and, confusing him. And, once we were confused him, he was looking to scramble, and, our job was to keep him in the pocket and get him down.
Do you see any change in him? Because you guys got a couple right off the bat on third down. I think their first 2 third downs you guys had 6. Do you see anything in him like, oh, this is going to be one of those days where we may have to hold it a little bit longer and you can take advantage?
Yeah, when it starts out early, it could turn into, one of those special days for you up front. And, we definitely had a good day up front, but, got a lot more to go. We can continue to get better. And we weren't perfect out there, so it's great feeling to get a win. Hadn't felt that in a while, and it was great to, play well. But turn the page for sure.
What happened on the one play where it looked like you took one in the shin?
I didn't take one in the shin. He tripped me, kicked me in my knee, and kind of messed up my day. But.
Did you guys as a unit feel that you had something to prove after the way things had gone and the criticism you might have been hearing?
I mean, we know who we are. We know what we're capable of. We have an extremely high standard for ourselves, bigger than any people or any outside people can put on us. We want to be great. We want to be dominant. We want to play at a high level, and we know our team is going to need us to do that if we want to get to where we want to go. So any outside, you guys need to do this. We already put pressure and a sense of responsibility on ourselves to go out there and put the team on our back and win games.
Was it just a bruise or something?
Yeah, I should be straight.
You say something back to him when you faced him again?
No, I didn't know what happened. I had a lot of respect for him, but tripping me, kicking me in my knee, could have got seriously hurt. It was just a dirty play.
All right, thanks. Christian, right here. Did you do some lobbying to get back out there for the potential?
Yeah, I suck. Everyone else on the team scored, except for me. No, that means a lot to me for them to keep me in at the end of the game there and try to get me that record. But hey, I'll take a huge win.
Christian, how bad did you guys need this win today?
Just as bad as every other week, but definitely this one coming off of 3 losses. I think what I liked is it wasn't perfect, but we just stayed with it. We kept going, and defense came up huge with a bunch of turnovers, and offensively we got a lot of things that we can still get better at, which is exciting. So, I think we learned our lesson these last 3 weeks of, just we have to play good ball every week. We have to execute. We have to minimize mistakes and go out there and do what we know how to do.
We can quantify it with like numbers and stuff, but what does Deebo Samuel bring to your offense that we can't quantify for you guys?
Yeah, I really don't think you can quantify it. It's a different energy, different burst. Just having him on the field, you know, I'm not a D coordinator and I don't play defense, but you know, he's somebody you have to focus on, and then what he can do when the ball's in his hands, whether it's in the receiving game or the run game, is special.
Did feel like there's more lanes to run, more bigger holes today?
I thought the O-line did a great job all day. That's a really good defense. That's a good rush defense too, and they have the numbers to show it. And I thought our guys did a great job. And it was good having 71 back out there, but I thought all 5 of those guys, the tight ends, Juice, they did a hell of a job all day, just sticking with it, sticking with the run game, getting some of those gritty yards, and then, you know, in the second half, start to pop some of them.
What were your impressions of how Brock played, especially some of those boundary throws where he was running for it?
Awesome. You know, Brock played awesome. He did what he knows how to do, and that's, you know, play well, play beyond the X's and O's, and thought he did great.
You say you learned your lessons the last couple of weeks. Is the bye week, was that well situated for you guys to do some reflection?
Definitely. Yeah, bye week was huge. I think everybody needed a little mental, emotional, and physical rest.
Did you let Juice know that he could have just gone down with the one?
Yeah, Juice really wanted me to score unless he could score. Yeah, so, no, I'm so happy. I mean, yeah, anytime Juice can score, I'm probably the second most excited guy in the field other than him. Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, but how did it feel for you just to get back out there and help the squad in this losing streak?
It felt good. Like being a month away and just, you know, not getting those wins that we were supposed to get, and just come back here and just see like we went in on all phases, just come out with a big win.
Do you feel like this was the team's most complete game of the season?
Looking at it from the sideline, yeah. Defense holding them 3 points, 4 turnovers. You know, special teams played well, and offense put up 30 points.
You want to discuss your touchdown that you got and how that play went, all the blocking that was in front of you?
You know, it was kind of like a reverse. I came around the edge, and I ain't see nothing but white jerseys and 2 blue jerseys. I'm like, yo, I ain't no choice but to get in the end zone right here.
Seems like when you guys score, whether it's you, whether it's Ayuk, whether it's Kittle, the other person celebrates more than what they score. Like, obviously that brings you guys together, but do you notice that in practice? Like, do you think that's what brings you guys together?
I ain't really noticed that. I think everybody be excited to see whoever get in the end zone score.
Deebo, you mentioned this week you felt like Monday's practice, it was like day 1 of training camp.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel that energy kind of carry over to this game? Like there was a little extra urgency on this one?
I think so. I think everybody's just fresh coming off the bye week, and, you know, we lost 3, and we just trying to get back on track, and that's what we did.
A couple more for Deebo. Any?
Thank you. Did you notice the defense coordinator on the sideline?
I guess that's the answer right there, huh? It was good. It was good having him down there, and the communication was flawless, and yeah, it was good having him down there.
Eric said he could feel his energy. Sorry.
I was just saying, did you have an opportunity to, like, were you in his ear at all during the game, between series?
You know, I think it was pretty similar, honestly. I think the thing was just kind of like us being we just going into it. We wanted to make sure the communication was good in terms of the microphone, him getting the calls to me, and I thought he did a great job.
That was the first time he could directly speak to you during
Yeah,
the calls,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Any difference, like just what that was like?
There's always going to be an adjustment period. I don't know if he's ever done it, honestly, because I know he's always been in the box. So I think he did a great job being down there today.
Did you guys come out today feeling like you had something you needed to prove as a unit?
I mean, I'd say so. Obviously, there's been we had 3 games that just wasn't us, you know, and we had to get back to playing 49er football, especially on the defensive side. And I've spoken on it. You know, we had to take pride in what we were putting on tape, and today I feel like we did that.
Do you feel like the defensive line set the tone for today's game? 3 sacks in the first half, 5 sacks by the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, I think as a group, you know, I think we played complementary football. I think obviously up front we got a lot of pressure up front to make his life difficult, and in the back end, you know, using our disguises and being sticky and covered. I think that's what kind of made it a little difficult for Lawrence.
Frank, can you elaborate a little bit on that? Lawrence gets the ball out really quick usually, and he was patting it a little bit today. What were you doing on the back end that was kind of forcing that?
Yeah, I think early on just giving him different looks, you know, not just You know, we wanted to make sure we gave great disguises in the back end to give those guys up front more time to kind of make them pat that ball and just, you know, give them a lot of different looks throughout the game.
Talk about the defensive line and the back end. The second level, you guys have some decent players there too. Dre Greenlaw, he was banged up the last couple of weeks. Did you notice more of a pep in his step today? I think he led the team in tackles.
Absolutely. Anytime we got Dre out there healthy, it completely changes the defense. He's such a great player. Love playing alongside of him. The physicality that he brings, the hunt to the football, playmaking ability, he does it all. So it was big having him back out there healthy.
How do you think Chase Young fit in?
I think he fit in great. I guess that was the missing link right there to playing dominant defense again. So it was so good having him out there, man. He brings such great energy. He's obviously such a physical and dominant player. So I'll have to watch the tape to see how he truly did. But it felt like his presence was felt.
A couple more for Fred.
Toughest interception you ever made?
Yeah, that was pretty tough, man. I have to say, Trevor Lawrence, he throws a good ball. It came a nice spiral to me. That's my bad. I should have said that. But
you could sense it was kind of the way the pressure was getting to him.
yeah, you know, just kind of the flow of the game. I felt like all game I'd been kind of jumping the check down when we were in zone coverage, and so later in the game, kind of got to have a situation. I sunk back a little bit in that dig window, and he just threw it.
What have you seen from Ambry Thomas during practice throughout the week?
Man, just confidence. You know, confidence, and that's truly the difference right now. I feel like he's been getting better and better every week, just waiting for his opportunity, and I think he made the most of it today. Obviously, he made that big play on the sideline, but you know, I think he just competed his tail off all week and then leading into today.
Anything else?
All right.
Thanks, Fred.
Thanks, guys.
Seemed too confident on Friday that he'd be able to play.
Yeah, I wasn't. Like I said, it was truly questionable. And I know a lot of people say that, and, you know, over the years of my career, every time I've been questionable, I pretty much end up playing. So I know it's what you guys expected. I wanted to play, but like I said, I mean, Thursday and Friday went okay. It didn't go as well as I expected. So it was truly questionable. I mean, I had, you know, a long flight, you know, but a couple of days. Friday, got some rehab. Saturday, got some good rehab, and you know, today I decided to give it a go.
Did you use something on your ankle on the flight to keep it flowing down?
Yeah.
What exactly is that?
Just compression, what we call game ready, you know. So, you know, you put a little cold compression on it to try to keep the fluid out. You know.
How do you feel you came out of the game health-wise?
I don't think I took a step back. You know, I definitely didn't get any better, but, you know, I think, you know, close to 75–80%. I think I'm still around there.
When you're out on a lead block or somebody's coming to your side, how do you not cringe that they might just roll up right behind you?
I just run hard as I can, and I know if I'm not running, there's a good chance I get rolled up. But if I just get out there and run, you know, it's still a good chance. It's still a chance you get rolled up, but less likely when you're keeping your feet moving. So I just try to, especially when I'm out front, I can tell the ball carrier's behind me. I just try to run and apply pressure on the whoever that defender is, and you know, hopefully the running back can make a miss and avoid me getting rolled up on.
Did you see Debo coming around?
No, it's kind of weird because, you know, 31 turned around and ran. I ain't never seen that. So, but yeah, I knew he was close because I could just tell the reaction of the guy in front of me. You know, but anytime I feel so comfortable with 2, 3, or 19 out there in the open fields, like I just got to get in the way long enough for them to make a decision. And once 19 gets ahead of steam, it's really tough to bring them down.
Trent, how big was this win for you guys?
I think it was huge. Losing 4 straight would have been, you know, I think a lot of people would have wanted to turn the panic lights on, or, you know, could have had our proverbial back against the wall. So I think coming out, getting this win on the road against a really good team that's been rolling, really good defense, really good players all around the field. You know, to come out here and get a good win, I think it's definitely what we needed.
Is that why it was so important for you to play? I know it's only week 10, but it was why to play in this particular game so that you can keep those panic lights off? Yeah. And then I miss it, man. I miss it. And you know, obviously not being out there last couple of weeks, and you know, not being able to contribute, help my team. It really sucks, man. You feel useless around the building, you know, when you're not out there contributing in a physical way. So. Yeah, it was important for me to get out there, and I told Coach a week ago if I got
to 70%, 75%, I think I was going to give it a shot, you know. And it, like I said, it was tough. I hadn't had any physical contact since Cleveland. So, you know, I've really been on the shelf for the last month. And, you know, I still wasn't able to get any physical contact in practice because obviously, you know, we were just wanting to see how it felt to get out and run. So, you know, today I knew it'd be tough. I knew I'd be rusty because obviously you can't just wake up after a month off and go out there and pick up where you left off. So.
New left guard in the line today. New left guard in the line today. How do you feel like his preparation was during the week, and how do you feel like he performed today?
I feel like he performed well. Like I said, I got to watch the film to actually get give you my honest opinion. But from what it felt like out there, I felt like he played well. I mean, Feliciano is a vet. He's not somebody who just, we signed off the street or undrafted rookie. So, like, he's there for depth. He's there for situations like this because we know he can come in and still give high-caliber left guard play or center play or right guard for that matter. All right, fella.
Very excited about left guard talk.
Howdy.
Did it feel like 49er football today?
When you can sustain longer drives or explosive drives, whatever it is, and you don't have penalties on first and second down, you're not turning the ball over, yes, that's Niners football. You know, we usually do a really good job protecting the ball and not getting penalties, and that's what you guys saw today. In the last couple of weeks, that's all I've been saying is as long as we don't turn the ball over a bunch and we don't have penalties on first and second down, we're going to score a lot of points. And you kind of saw that too in the first, second quarter, whatever it was, where we had to, I think we kicked the field goal and we had to punt because we had penalties on first down. As long as we can eliminate those things, our offense has enough really, really good football players to get yards, stay on the field, and sustain long drives.
And this was the first time that Brock had got into a game with a few games where he'd made some turnovers and kind of had his back against the wall a little bit. How do you feel that he responded to that challenge?
No, I just go back to this. Brock started like 40-plus games in college. He had highest of highs. He's had the lowest of lows. Like, he's dealt with mistakes. He's had bad games in college. And so his confidence is still there. And that's all I wanted him to, continue doing. He knows how to, bounce back. And I don't think Brock, played poorly the last couple of games. Yeah, sure, there's a throw to he probably wants back. But if you look at the tape, he's still playing at a high level those 3 weeks that we lost. And just this time we were able to not turn the ball over and not have penalties. And so we're able to be out there and you can see the type of quarterback that Brock is.
George, obviously, on the long touchdown, you're running the route. But did you get a chance to watch how Purdy was able to kind of hang in the pocket? Like, to see a replay of that?
I've not seen it yet, but all I know is that Brock's really good in the pocket, and when he has confidence in his skill players, he's going to sit in the pocket and give you an opportunity, which is what he gave me.
Can you walk us through that touchdown?
What's fun is you come in at halftime and you sit down as an offense and Kyle brings up like, hey, these are the 8 to 10 plays that I want to get ran this half, and that play was the second play of the half, and that was not on those. That was not up there. And, I don't know if Kyle talked about it, but he's like 2nd and 1, they always go man coverage. And so motion over there, we're in 22 personnel, so 2 tight ends, 2 running backs, and a wide receiver. And it gives me a one-on-one versus a linebacker, which I'll take that any day of the week versus anybody. So it was a great call by Kyle to get us in the right play, and it was exactly what we wanted it to be. It was exactly how we drew it up. So I'm just, thankful that Kyle called that play.
Were you tired? You walked in the last, 25 yards.
It's really difficult to get that open. I saw the guy. I saw him fall, and I was like, I knew it was man coverage too. I was like, well, I knew the safety went to the other way because he's covering someone else. So, just had a have some fun going into the end zone. I probably won't ever walk in again because I'm going to get yelled at for that. But at least I didn't drop the ball before I got in the end zone.
Was that the most room you've ever had in between you and a defender in your career?
After he fell, yes. Yeah, that was really fun. We should do that more often.
Can you take us through the emotional journey of the touchdown pass that went to Brandon over your head?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Kind of talked about this, but I heard like 3 times, was that a great decision by Brock? Well, since it worked, it was a great decision. But like every time I see a quarterback, rolling out to his left and throwing back to the right, I just think about Brett Favre and the Vikings in the playoffs. And it's one of the biggest no-nos, except when it works. And it was funny too because Brandon's running a corner, I'm running across, and Brock's nodding his head for us to go back, but he was like, I was talking to the defense. I was trying to sell it to the defense. I wanted you guys to keep running. Yeah, well, my bad, Brock. Me and Brandon both fell for it too. But I went over my head a little bit, and I was like, hopefully there's someone else there that's not a defensive player. And I look around, and Brandon's scoring a touchdown, and I'm just happy for Brandon to get back in the end zone because he had 2 against Pittsburgh, and it's been kind of a dry spell for him. But it's a fun day when all the skill positions score. Unfortunately, not Christian, but when your tight end and a fullback are scoring, that's great. That's great football.
Telepathic abilities aside, how do you think Brock, just as far as scrambling, like his legs, because that's what he did on that play. He's created a lot of plays for you guys this season. What does that bring to your offense?
When you have a quarterback who can run a little bit and he is a threat in the run game and he also he believes in his legs and he can outrun guys, it just allows plays to develop a little bit longer. Not everything has to be a 3-step, 5-step drop, 7-step drop throw. When you can do a little bit extra, it's really hard to play defense and cover guys for 5 seconds. It really is, and especially if there's not a lot of pressure and the quarterback's out on the side. That's where you get all the legal contacts. That's where you get the pass interferences. Or if you're playing man coverage, it's really difficult to guard guys that long. So it just allows our offensive players who are skill guys, like I said, they're very talented, allows us to work a little bit longer and get open.
Can you explain the impact of having Debo and Trent back in the lineup? I mean, the offense looked pretty flawless today with him back.
What Debo brings to the table is a lot. Especially where we line them up. When you can move him and Christian, you interchange them. The defense has to account for a lot of stuff, and then you take in all of our motions and all that stuff. There's a lot going on for the defensive process every single play, and when you have that capability, it just gets the defense kind of on their heels a little bit, and then you can attack them with Debo. You can throw a route to Christian. So that's huge for our offense, just to have that diversity, whatever you want to call it. And then you go look at Trent Williams, and what Trent does is, besides being a first ballot Hall of Famer left tackle, still playing at a very high level, his confidence that he brings into the huddle is fantastic. The way he gets guys hyped before drives, in the middle of drives, he's incredibly encouraging. Just when you have a guy like that who's a very vocal leader too in the huddle, it just brings everybody up around him. And then also, Trent doesn't really need chips or anything like that. He just kind of manhandles anybody that he goes against, and it's very fun to play with someone that's probably the best ever doing his position.
All right, appreciate it, George.
Thanks, guys.
George.
Can you walk us through what you saw on the first touchdown and how it played out?
Yeah, it was just a normal keeper that we had up. I got the edge. Just felt like I had a lot of time. The smart decision was probably just continue to run, try to get as many yards as I can instead of putting the ball up like I did. But I saw BA in the back of the end zone sort of run to space, George as well, and I just put it up towards the back, and BA came down with it. But yeah, I'm not necessarily proud of that play, honestly. I mean, yes, it was a touchdown and everything, great. BA made a great play, but I got to be smart with the ball, and if anything, I should have ran the ball. So.
Kyle termed it among your worst decisions.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I agree. So, yeah.
George was indicating that you were kind of doing this with your head to try and throw out the defense.
Yeah. I just felt space on the left side, so I sort of nodded to going right, and he literally went right. I was trying to get the defense to think I'm going to throw back right, but then have him go left. So it's just something that we got to get on the same page about. So.
On decisions you're probably happier about, the touchdown to Kittle. How much do you feel that pressure that's kind of coming around you? What does it take to stand in there and deliver that ball knowing that you're probably about to get hit in a situation?
Yeah. Just what they were playing man, so I knew George just needed some time to get outside, one-on-one with that backer. And so knowing that and then seeing the safety sort of cut and take BA over the middle, I was all right, this is George one-on-one. So, yeah, I had some pressure and stuff, but I just got to give George a chance, and George did a great job getting underneath it and going all the way with it. It was sweet.
Brock, how big was this win for you guys? Just how much did you lose?
Yeah, it's huge. When you lose 3 in a row, obviously it's like, man, you want to get back on track. But honestly, we've taken every single game, very seriously, and we come to work. We never got complacent or anything. There's some things that haven't gone our way. A couple plays within the last couple games, but for this one, came with the right mindset of, backs against the wall in a sense, and let's play like hungry again. So I think that was the mindset. But overall, man, we're just trying to play Niner football.
Were you feeling it in any way coming off those 3 losses?
What do you mean?
Were you feeling maybe a little bit more pressure, a little bit more on you?
I guess a little bit. When you lose games in the NFL, it's like there's a standard, especially with this organization. We all demand a lot out of ourselves, and so. I was more, feeling the pressure just within myself. Like, man, I need to play better.
because of, how I've played in the past, and so that's where I was at with it. But, I came into this game with a clear mindset of, man, I got dudes around me, got a great defense, be smart with the ball and make plays, sort of play free in terms of cutting it loose, but also playing within the scheme and being smart with the ball. So that's where I was at, and got to keep playing like that moving forward.
Do you feel like this was the offense's best performance of the season? You guys didn't have a single turnover. You didn't turn the ball over. I mean, was it the best performance of this team so far this season, offensively?
Man, it's tough to say. I haven't really watched the film or anything yet, but I think there's still, some stuff left out there, that we could all learn from. I think the Dallas game, there was a couple drives where we were off, but I felt that one was pretty good. And so this one too, once we're clicking, like today, we felt good. Putting points up on the board, defense getting stops, turning the ball over. It was just really good team football. We felt that today, but still, there's some drives out there that can be made, and we'll learn from it still.
So many guys talk about complementary and team football like you just did. Is there a tangible boost that you feel when the defense had that stop, the 3-and-out to start the game? Offensively, can you feel that momentum with your own unit?
Yeah, especially, coming and starting off the game with some momentum, defense gets a stop, 3-and-out, boom. And then we are moving, from the get-go with the first couple plays. We just felt the momentum. It's huge. And so our defense has done a great job with that. And anytime we've had success, our defense is always, the side of the ball to really, start something up, I feel like, getting a turnover, getting a 3-and-out, and then it, encourages us to go out and do our thing. So very blessed to have our defense.
Last one, Branch.
Positive spin on that first. Well, it's positive because it was a touchdown, but the throw to Ayuk, the fact that was one of your first throws. You have been scrutinized. Like, you got to be careful with the ball. You know that better than anyone. The fact that you obviously weren't scared and you still flung it. I guess did that show your mindset is still, I got to be careful, but I'm not going to lose that mentality.
Yeah. The biggest thing is I think just playing within our scheme, how, Shanahan's calling plays, how Greasy's coaching us up with just our reads, our footwork, progression, everything, playing within that. And then there's opportunities where if stuff breaks down, all right, now let's go play, some backyard football-esque type of plays. But to say I'm searching for those kind of plays, that's wrong. And so, going into this game, you got to play like that. I still, I play football, and I'm aggressive with what I do and how I throw the ball. And but I still have to learn, times in the game and situations where I got to be smart with the ball. So that's something I got to continue to learn. But at the same time, they do a good job of not just handcuffing me. They let me play quarterback in an aggressive way and get the ball to our guys when they're open.
The camera was on you, just real quick.
Yeah.
The camera was on you when Christian was about to maybe score the 18. How badly did you want to get there?
Well, after the touchdown to Juice, I sort of felt bad. I was like, we came off the sideline and guys were talking about it. I'm like, oh, man. I'm like, dang it. Like, I was mad, sort of. Obviously scored a touchdown. That's the biggest thing. But, then the next drive, we were like, hey, let's drive for Christian and try to get him a touchdown. This is huge. And so, at the end, man, it's like we all wanted it for him. Every guy on this team wanted it for Christian. And then, obviously, I think Christian wants it more than anybody. Like, he's a humble guy, wants to win. So he puts the team first, but in that moment, everybody wanted it for Christian. So it hurts, and but at the same time, he's got a long career ahead of him, and I told him we'll be able to do it again. So.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yep.
Thank you.